Good morning. This will be the 2nd of June 2025. You're welcome back. Gerry Adams plus Starmer. Anyway, I want to just clarify something because one of the successes in my channel is not always giving out. It's giving out hoping that those who make decisions regarding our future and our country will change. Will they change their policy? So you never know who could have a conversion on the road to Damascus. But the other thing about why I'm successful is I know the law of defamation. I know what you can say about people and what you can't. What you can say legally and what you can't. But there's also the issue of what you can say morally. Is it right to attack someone who's just trying to get by in this world? By and large, people who are born into this world want to get by and have a reasonable good time and an odd bit of a holiday somewhere here and there and an odd nice meal out and maybe have a family and enjoy their children growing up. I mean, that's what most people want. And that's still available, like in Ireland to a certain extent, and to a lesser extent in Britain. In France, there was huge riots over the weekend, 2 killed there, and total mayhem. And I've long made the point that the greatest deceit of people is socialism. It is a deceitful ideology. But other people have a different idea. Now, in the Gerry Adams video, the point about it was a man called Dennis Donaldson was killed in County Donegal in the Irish Republic. Now, people mistook him for Jeffrey Donaldson of the DUP. That's not the same man at all. So I deleted that reference. I couldn't leave that there. I don't want Jeffrey Donaldson suing me. He had nothing to do with this at all. He's a unionist, strong unionist politician in the north. And there's some trial before the courts with him. We don't know what the result of those are. I made no point about him at all. So you're mistaking Jeffrey Donaldson for Dennis Donaldson, who was killed. Now, Dennis Donaldson is a unionist name, big time. Martin, my name, is both. It's universal. It's neither. They're both unionists and nationalists in Ireland and all over the world because it's followers of St. Martin, and so it goes back to early Christianity. Now, folks, I'm just having a little cup here. Now, subscribers made allegations about Gerry Adams being right. Gerry Adams was accused of ordering the assassination of the killing of Dennis Donaldson. And there was no evidence. And that's the point that the case was fought over. The jury, in my mind, on that issue, rightly concluded you just can't accuse someone of being a murderer or ordering a murder without evidence, no matter who you are, because you could be wrong. And this thing about calling in witnesses that don't give evidence, the whole idea of the courts is if you have something to say, you come up and you take the oath and you say it. So I say that's the law, whether we like it or not. And there's no way in my video I suggested that Gerry Adams ordered anything to do with it. And so I deleted those videos. I deleted those comments. Because we have no evidence of any of that. Now, the other thing then is that I made the point, should we have a good name at all? And obviously a good few people come along there and post there is. That'd be a good debate at some other time. But when there's peaceful, you see, the pace of things is proceeding so fast that I have to deal with the emergencies. We were on the brink of a nuclear war in Europe. Very hard to talk about finer points of law. You only fit so many videos in a day. So I deleted any video that suggested, any comment that suggested Gerry Adams ordered that murder. I have no evidence of that. I'm not accusing him and I'm not alleging it. I don't know. I don't know who did it. I don't know. Simple as that. And we can't. The court made its decision and that's that. Now, I did raise the question of whether a good name should come from birth. I mean, what good name had Jimmy Savile? Now, he wasn't convicted, but we know he was doing it. What good name had Rolf Harris? Can you pick a date and say my good name starts there? Well, not in law. If you're 19 years of age or 20 years of age, man, and you abuse a little child, you can be convicted in 100 years' time. The law never forgives a felony. Most minor offences have a 6-month period, statute of limitations. And nuisance, the law of nuisance is a 20-year from you come to it. So I've deleted those ones that take away Gerry Adams' good name, and I'm separating the fact that I believe they couldn't prove he did any of this, and therefore the jury had no option but to do what they did, from the fact of when a good name starts. Even if Gerry Adams' good name started on his birth, well, you can't prove he ordered such an act of murder or directed murder on that particular incident, and it has to be that one. The fact that there may be other general information doesn't matter. So it wouldn't have mattered, but what it would matter in relation is to the award, how much he got. Now, it has to be said, and I know a lot of strong Sinn Féin people, would you believe it, a lot of them chat to me confidentially, and naturally enough, I can never reveal their identity. That would be destroy my channel. That's the whole idea of my channel. Anonymous means anonymous. But a lot of them will praise Gerry Adams, and they will say this: I knew some of the toughies in the IRA, and Gerry had to try and bring them along, and Martin McGuinness had to try and pull them along. Lads, we can't go on forever. I also knew a good few IRA supporters, and I'd always asked them the question, like I might be in searching them or checking their car for stuff in the boot or that. But I got the impression coming up near the peace process that they didn't want the troubles handed on to the next generation. They wanted to stop with their generation. And I'm a bit the same. I'm prepared to tackle all the old wrongdoings. But do I really want my children and grandchildren to be handed over that? My struggle is to hand them over a good country that they can live normal, decent lives, happy lives. And look back on the old boy, old Val, old grandfather, or whatever he is. He wasn't so bad. He was a bit of a bucko. But that's what any decent person hopes. There was always that hope. And during the struggle for Ireland, and Ireland went under the Norman, the Viking, and the British occupations and all of that, and battles. During all that, there was always the hope that we would one day be a free people. And so you can see that point. Now, Adams and Martin McGuinness definitely did pull that peace process along. Definitely did. They were the interface between the hard jaws, and some of those hard jaws, I don't think I'll name them, wouldn't settle and didn't, and went off up to other IRA types of breakaways. So who's to point the finger? Maybe there could be a lot of people walking around alive today, and their children are walking around who, if there wasn't a settlement, would be dead. So who's to say? Gardaí soldiers in the south of Ireland suffered and were killed. And it put a brake on the Irish economy for a long time. But still, someone had to do the job of bringing those people. And it took you had to have a certain amount of respect and a certain amount of appreciation. And Martin McGuinness was such a person to bring them along and say, right, let's try and settle this. And when the international community joined in, and when all the forces came together, and I would have to mention Albert Reynolds, he was a musician and he was a Fianna Fáil Taoiseach, but I mean, there's no doubt he put the boots on. And you'll know somebody that's determined to do something by the way they behave. If they're only wishy-washy or they mean it. And there's no doubt Albert Reynolds said, I'm not having any more of this. And that was a good quality in Albert Reynolds. May he rest in peace. Now, so the same with the struggle, and the same with all of these legacy issues that have been dealt with. But I can't allow anyone to take someone's good name on my channel, stick it up there as an anonymous person, and then me sued for having that up there when I don't agree. What does worry me about my channel is that somebody'd post a post and I wouldn't spot it. I generally run through them there as I'm having the breakfast, what people wrote. And but I'd be a bit afraid of that. So I have to be careful of that. So there's no one's good name taken. Now, we leave that at that. Someone did post that Gerry should put his 100,000 to some cause. And if he's mad for migration, why doesn't he give it all to the migrants? Anyway, I only speculate. So we leave it like that now. We go on to this man Starmer. There is innuendo and suggestion being made in the media and online. Essentially, 3 young Ukrainians want to be models, which would point to a little bit of, what would you call him? Your man Cleary. Remember Julian Cleary? And you had a Crocodile Dundee at the counter, and he was a transsexual thing. There were a bit of that, but they were that sort of, they weren't really masculine people. And I would suggest the likes of them fellas would never take up a rifle and fight. How are gay men fighting in the Ukraine? You'd think they'd be all, oh no, we can't have this. It's a tough situation, but I know they were in the Roman army and they used to put them together in the Roman army that fight better as a pair. Now, the thing is, it's possible that they were set up. There was an opponent of Zelensky shot by somebody in Ukraine in Spain. And there's an allegation that he tried to fix future leaders, such as Kier Starmer, some or other, that the information that they had was provided by somebody who had an agenda to blackmail Starmer. We won't know. So it's very dangerous even to accuse Kier Starmer of anything to do with having any such relationship, etc. We're dying to hear it, but you have to be very careful. Now, it's a different thing in respect of Brigitte Macron. It's very easy for her to have a test done to see what her gender is, but we saw photographs and we see the mysteries that's attached to it, and I bring them to your attention. It's up to her. I mean, she can put all this to bed. I don't see too many alleging Val Martin's a woman. I'd submit myself to a test. We know how lads getting to check me out. It'll be... You can think for yourself. Anyway, there is doubts about some of these people, and it's only right in the public interest that we know what's going on. There are a lot of things about Macron, videos of him now, the wife forcing him to do the homework, the housework, and all of that. And there is terrible riots in France. He's made a mess of that country, and his politics is totally wrong, and he's a warmonger, what's more. So if somebody's a father married to a lady, she's 52 and he's 54, and they have 2 kids, and they're the leader of a country, and they bring us into war in the full light of day, well, then you could argue they're doing it in the best interest. There's no perversion or anything there. So if Dev Valera brought us into a war in the 1940s, well, Dev was married to Sinead, and they had a family and all. He was he was an ordinary Irishman in many ways, even though he was born in America. So same with Collins. But it's not that a gay couple, I mean, Peter Mandelson is supposed to be gay. It's not that a gay man couldn't make good decisions, but I would have doubts about where they come to bloodshed and loss of life. They might have a slightly different perspective on the value of life. I also have a problem too with those who are very, very supportive of abortion, because a person who can support abortion on the week before a baby's born and kill the baby might not have the same value on deaths and the hardship that war can be. Anyone that has a war going on or orders a war needs to know very clearly what the implications are and have empathy with the people who are fighting and dying for it. So I've said enough of that. I had to delete these things. We cannot have defamation on our side. I can't have that. I don't want to be trying to defend defamation by somebody else. If I'm going to defame, I'll defame them myself and deal with it, and it'll be very well thought out And I'm damn sure I'm not going to allow other people to expose me to defamation suits when I won't do it myself. And I know the law fairly well, and that's what sticks to me in these videos. I know what you can say and what you can't, and I tend to always harp on the policies, not on the person, because there's none of us perfect. Right, folks, that's my spiel or my story on Gerry Adams and the general subject of the award he got. He got the award whether we like it or not, and I have to say that's the law of Ireland. If people don't like that law, go and change it. The BBC should have done their homework, asked me, if they had to give me a couple of €1,000, even from one of my charities, from my fund to fight the EU's renewable energy plan, I'd have given them advice and told them you can't say that about him. You just have to put up with it. You might feel that he done something. That's it. You have to prove it. Thinking it's one thing, saying it's another. The issue of good name is very interesting for debate, but we won't be able to cover it. There's so much going on. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.